Hey YouTube, this is Deetster, and in this video I just want to show off a few levels that I made a while back, but made some changes too. Some changes are minor, some are major, in my opinion. I think they're definitely major enough to warrant a re-upload. So yeah, Let's Kick Shell it's not a traditional stage. It's kind of all over the place. Like the second half of it is a speed run, and the first half is kind of just a bunch of random ideas kind of thrown together. But I wanted to add more shell kicking in this one because that's the name of the stage, but it really only fits with this part and the second half of the stage. So here I decided to change the Koopas to Buzzy Beetles because Koopas in Mario World are kind of annoying because when you hit them, the Koopa flies out the shell, and in that particular section, you have to like hit the shell twice before it starts moving. So in this section, the setup at the start is actually way different than it was before. Before you needed to actually toss a Koopa shell up there, and sometimes it could miss the spring. I put a reset door just in case that happened, but the question block setup with the spring right above the question block and a shellmet inside is way more consistent, so I felt like that was a worthy change. And also, I made the race a little more interesting. Alright, so Skull Raft is a level where you're racing a blue Skull Raft platform to the end of the section, because you need it at the end. I made quite a few changes to this one, mainly to make it easier and a little less jank. Like, I took out most of the shellmets except for one. Most of the changes are in the second half of the stage. And the big change is actually a section where you needed to toss up a shellmet and hit blocks, and at the same time you needed to catch the shellmet so that you can wear it and damage boost later. So that section was actually a little bit tricky, and I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to make the section was right there, by the way, but I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to make that section consistent. And for the longest time, I didn't know that vines went through semi-solids. But once I found that out, that section became much easier. Because you could toss up the shellmet stays up on the semi-solid, and you won't have to worry about actually catching it on your way up while climbing the vine. So that part is a lot better than it was before. Alright, Thwomp Grand Prix. This might be my favorite stage that I made, but it did go through quite a few changes because I wanted to make certain sections feel better, and there was a lot of cheese in this level that I needed to patch out. Like right here, that bomb jump setup is literally just for anti-cheese, because before it was just a block that you needed to throw a shell at, but you could actually, before, you were able to just completely avoid the Buzzy Beetle and just make the section without, actually needing the shell. So I wanted to make it so that you actually needed to pick up the shell there. This part, I moved the location of the turtle to make it feel better, and I also changed it to a Buzzy Beetle before it was a Koopa. That section is way different. It used to be a tall stack of Koopas, and because of that, I guess a lot of people thought that you needed to throw the Goomba upwards, so that's what most people did on the first time when you're supposed to throw it forwards. So I changed that section to make it a bit more clear. There also used to be a Buzzy Beetle shellmet in this level that I also took out because you actually didn't need it. And there was actually some cheese if you completely skipped it, so decided to just remove that idea altogether. But other than that, the stage is still mostly the same, just gotta keep the Thwomp on screen. If it despawns, then you can't beat the level. So it's kind of like a glorified auto-scroller in a way. Okay, Thwomps Revenge. So, yeah, the Thwomps and Mario Maker 2 are just so fun to use, but Yeah, this bottom path here, it's literally just for the people in Endless. And I put the 3 run-ups to show that that's where that path leads, so if you're not in Endless, you could just ignore that path. But I actually didn't make too many changes in this level. Besides like patching some trees and making not all 4 paths easier at the end, but I did make 3 of the 4 paths easier. I added more indicators, and that was something that I did in Thwomp Grand Prix as well. I added some Z indicators, so that jumps were less blind. One big change is actually right here in this brake section, this brake platforming section that I wanted to add, with the 2 doors. So this part was a little blind originally because most people, you know, well, there's no way to tell that you need to start holding right immediately. So I decided to make it so that you can actually see where the door leads, well, where the right door leads, so that you actually know that you need to start holding right immediately. Just a little quality of life change. Added a Z indicator there. Changed this part, made it a claw instead of the twisters. And I decided, the path that I decided to show was actually one that most people didn't take. I actually haven't seen anyone take this bottom path here, so this is the one that I decided to show. Just gotta fly. It's actually maybe the easiest path in my opinion, at least if you're good at flying. If you're good at flying, that path might be the easiest one. Yeah, this level was really fun to make, and it's actually still one of my favorite ones that I made. It's one of the few levels that I'm proud of, so I think it's in a good spot. I don't think I need to edit it anymore. Now, Bowser's Mysterious Castle. This is probably the only this is the most traditional stage that I made a lot of changes to. I had to make a lot of changes to this one because it's a red coin level, but I never actually played a really good red coin level previously, like prior to making this one, so I didn't know about the infinite checkpoint setup, so initially I didn't have a checkpoint in the stage. And then I edited it, uploaded it with the checkpoint that you could just get when you think you needed it. But a problem with that was that you could die after getting the key. And I didn't know that when you die with the key, you have to get every single red coin over again. So I didn't want that to happen, but I eventually saw the infinite checkpoint setup and decided to add it because every red coin level needs an infinite checkpoint setup. Like, if you don't have an infinite checkpoint setup in your red coin level, you're definitely doing something wrong. It took me a while to actually learn how to do it, but this one was definitely worth updating several times. I actually updated it not too long ago because there was a soft lock that I found. I don't think anyone ran into it, but yeah, if there's a soft lock, that's an immediate fix and re-upload. Like, that's easily even if it's a hard to find soft lock, or people just won't run into it, I think it's still worth fixing. Unless this level had a crap ton of hearts or something, and I didn't want to delete it because of it. So this section here I changed a bit as well. I actually decided to make this more of an interesting arena because before it was just an empty room where you fought Bowser Jr. You do have to fight Bowser Jr. here for the clown car. But other than that, this level's mostly the same. If you're curious here, you'll find these coins. That was an original. Okay, so the last red coin was right through this door. Get the key. After you get the key, it is very, very hard to die with the key because the door is right there. I probably should have put the door inside that sub-area room so that it really, really is unbelievably hard to die with it, but I think it's fine because it's already really hard to die with the key. once you get it. Not like before. But yeah, so far that's all the levels that I have uploaded that I made significant. And some not so significant changes too, so hope you guys enjoyed.